Administration announced that we had the worst trade deficit in American history. They chose today to announce that, $1 trillion trade deficit, the worst in American history. That steps on the president's economic message. A few minutes later, the Fed chairman got out there and said, you know what, inflation's going to be around for a long time. It's going to be a bumpy ride. It's not going to be a good economy for the next couple of years. Then right after that, the labor secretary chose today to announce he's bailing out in the cabinet and going to the greener pastures of the NHL. Then the border hearing began with some amazing testimony from these two border chiefs, which I know Chad was just talking about, and literally undercutting everything that the president and the Homeland Security Secretary said throughout the day. You couldn't have a worse messaging. If Republicans didn't say anything tonight, the counter-programming was already written for them by the Biden administration.
Yeah, I think if I could borrow a line from the millennial generation's late 90s phase, no duh. That's what it kind of feels like so much of this is. A lot of what you were just articulating that happened today, and with respect to everything happening at the border and inflation. So many Americans, I think, when they hear those types of policy points or that data and that information, they think to themselves, well, yeah. And then, this week you had Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg out there with the sentiment that, in layman's terms, you silly peasants, you just don't understand how good you have it. And it seems like that's an attitude that permeates all the way to the top. And for President Biden, it's going to be hard, I think, for him to articulate to the American people why they should give him another shot in 2024. I mean, this is basically his first night of campaign stumping for himself. It's going to be hard for him to make that case, I think.
Yeah, well, and I think the President Trump's video, just one thing I want to mention, it reminds us of what sort of economy and security and national world standing we had just a few short years ago. And the Census Department actually helped him on that today. Of all days, they put out today, the poverty rates in America went down, oh wait, not under Joe Biden, but under Donald Trump. That came out today, too. Literally, the contrast between the Trump record, which Chad was such a big part of and Mark was such a big part of, and the Biden record, you couldn't have more contrast. Well,